In the last 3 days, I have been traversing the constituency where I organized 3 big meetings, especially with the beneficiaries of Emyooga and PDM. Emyooga and PDM, as we are aware, is the NRM government response to the fight against poverty championed by His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. The whole country is aware that the fight against poverty started in 1996 when His Excellency traversed the whole country, campaigning for household income using the 4-acre model and the 7 enterprises. In the last 2 to 3 years, the NRM government under the leadership of President Museveni introduced 2 very important programs in the fight against poverty. That is Emyooga, which was followed by PDM. In our assessment, for those who have so far received PDM, they are success stories, but there are also stories of people who received the money but failed. Under Emyooga, the biggest challenge is low recovery rate. That is stopping the 18 groups from receiving the additional 20 million shillings that each and every group that meets the test is receiving. It is also important to note that in all these meetings we had the national coordinator of Emyooga who gave further guidance, and we are optimistic that going forward more groups in a jury will be able to receive the additional 20 million shillings under Emyooga. All in all, the community is happy with PDM. The community is happy with Emyooga, and we have appealed to them to enroll under both PDM and Emyooga because we still have even balances that have not yet been dispersed. For instance, under PDM, there is still 278 million not yet dispersed for the entire jury and Alebtong out of the 14 billion shillings. So we are still calling upon people to join these groups, to join the circles, such that we can kick poverty out of Uganda. This is the only government in the post-independence history of Uganda that has been able to introduce many poverty alleviation programs and projects aimed at kicking poverty out of people, and the implementation goes to the second lowest administrative unit in the country. PDM is parish. Emyooga is constituency. In addition to that, we have the youth livelihood. In addition to that, we have a web, among many others. So the NRM government, under the leadership of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, goes on record in the post-independence history of Uganda for salvaging our people who are not yet in the money economy to join the money economy using programs like Emyooga, PDM, web, youth livelihood, and very soon, again, we are introducing the Grow project for women. This model was chosen basing on that biblical verse of the parable of the sower, because the preaching against poverty, the preaching on household income, the preaching on socio-economic transformation, the preaching on the 4-acre model, on the 7 enterprises, is like the preaching in the Bible of the parable of the sower. To those who have succeeded, these are seeds that fell on the fertile ground and they have germinated. So they become role models in the implementation of these government programs. For those who have failed due to different reasons, that to some extent are also justifiable. Because one will tell you, I received the money, yes, 1 million under PDM, but I fell sick. I received the money, I got an accident on my way as I had moved to pick the money, I ended up in hospital. I used the money for treating myself. I got the money, I bought some piglets, others died. I got the money, I bought some goats, some died. These are the negative aspects of seeds that definitely fell on the rocks. But we are still optimistic that from the third beneficiaries of PDM, we have now even talked to the prospective beneficiaries to go for good enterprises that can yield good results. Poultry, piggery, goats rearing, dairy cows, coffee, those are high-yielding enterprises. So we have appealed to them, we have guided them, and we believe that they will be in a position to get the money and put it in good enterprises that can be able to germinate and produce results, and hence getting them out of the current poverty that they have. Remember, PDM targets the 39 not yet in the money economy, but Emyooga is targeting those with the different skills. That is why he's talking about the border riders, he's talking about those who are doing carpentry, he's talking about welders, to mention but a few. In the 3 days tours, I would say the gaps are not many. People are overwhelmingly coming out to say, if we can do some bit of increment in the amount of money a recipient receives, that would be a plus on the side of government. Others are saying, why don't we increase even on the number of beneficiaries, increase on the money itself, such that people can be able to put it in very, very viable activities that can get them out of poverty. But we are also saying that the 1 million is primarily going to someone who has lived and has never touched 1 million shillings as part of the proceeds that he or she gets from whatever productive activity he or she is doing. So these are some of the challenges, then the issue of facilitation to the technical people who are helping government to ensure that this program succeeds, among many others. Our people are failing because, one, they lack guidance in terms of the enterprises that are profitable. Two, people are failing because deliberately they get money, then turn it into doing something else, as opposed to what he or she had chosen before. Others are using it for paying school fees, others are using it for treating their sick ones, others are using it for doing any other, buying clothes, buying bicycles, to mention but a few. But for those who got stuck to the enterprises that they selected, that is where the success stories are majorly coming from. And most of the success stories are primarily coming from the mothers of Uganda. The women have embraced these two programs. Majority of the success stories are majorly women. That implies we need to continue doing a lot in terms of mindset change of the people of Uganda. It appears people are still stuck in their ways of living. You are attempting to get them out of their own way of living. There is some resistance, because change will always be resisted, whether it is coming for the good or not for the good. But in this case, it is change coming for the good. We want to use the good examples of majority women who have embraced this program, and majority of the success stories are lying with the mothers of the nation. My dream as the leader of the people of Ajuri, with all these poverty alleviation programs that the National Resistance Movement government under President Museveni has introduced, is to have an empowered community economically that is able to be self-reliant in all aspects. So let's embrace this government program such that we become self-reliant people of Ajuri County. That is my dream, and that is the dream of the National Resistance Movement. That is the bigger dream of His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, that all Ugandans must embrace the fight against poverty and welcome household income messages, socio-economic transformation using the 4-acre model and the 7 enterprises that he has always emphasized.
Yes.
My name is Rita. I'm the National Coordinator of the Emyooga program. I want to thank Honorable Hamsun Obua, the Government Chief Whip, for organizing this sensitization and monitoring program for Emyooga and PDM. And for these last 3 days, people have understood how government is committed to ensuring that the 39% in subsistence economy move to a money economy. People have understood that government is committed to ensure Emyooga and PDM works in eradicating poverty. People have understood how wealth can be created in a home and a household through making sure that they offer a service in form of Emyooga enterprise or offer a product in form of an agricultural enterprise. And this is so good. Our people are happy. Government has also made accountability of the money it has injected, the billions of money it has injected into the community to make sure that, especially a jury constituency, to make sure that people move away from poverty. And I want to pledge on behalf of government that we are not going to leave any stone unturned in each household to make sure that people move away from the situation they are in of poverty and they move into a money economy. Uganda is a rich country. We want our people safe and rich to make sure that there is food security and income security in each household. People who have misused the funds, government has a long arm and government uses stick-carrot method. Those people who have misused the funds, we are going to sensitize them and give them an opportunity to do better. And if they don't learn, we are going to arrest them, because getting rich is no option in government. Being poor in this government is going to be a crime. So those who want to remain poor will be arrested. Those who are trying to extort money from beneficiaries of Emyooga or PDM, I assure you, I want to tell you, you are going to be arrested and persecuted. And I want to tell you, for crimes of corruption, we shall work hand in hand with the courts and you will never get bail, because we want to eliminate this vice of corruption. It is the biggest thing that is letting us behind, but it is in a few individuals. And as government, we shall use ISO, we shall use anti-corruption, we shall use IGG and the courts of law to put you to book.
How bad is this situation in
extortion is for people who are pretending to be having their own guidelines. But I want to tell you, with the assistant RDCs in place, the situation is not alarming. They are doing it stealthily, but we have empowered communities to tell us so that we are arrested.
So what lessons have you learned in these 3 days, and then probably you think we shall be able to do?
The lessons I've learned that we need to take as government is people are yearning for money. Everywhere we're going, the people are saying we are ready to work. Others money, others money. And I want to tell you, government is committed. The money for Emyooga will be added to each group 20 million every year. And we are going to even innovate. The groups that have worked more should be given tokens of appreciation. Money for PDM, the president has directed 100 million every year to make sure that people move away from poverty. The other challenge that we are facing is people are yearning for information. And learning from Honorable Hamsun Obua's strategy of sub-county per sub-county, for us as the technical people. We are going to also support him and move nearer. From sub-county, we shall move to the parish so that the people of the parish can take it to each homestead to make sure that we eradicate poverty. So the challenge is now people are earning more, so we should serve them better.
But why are they failing? They get money, most of them are failing, though we also have some successes.
I don't want to say people are failing. For example, here, out of the 2 constituencies, the 36 circles, only 2 have challenges. The rest are doing well. If you're a teacher in class, we are in 80%. So a few challenges which we feel we can fix. Because as government, we even fix broken eggs. So as government, we shall fix those few challenges to ensure people are serving better. These challenges are manageable because the people, the community have embraced President Museveni's message of wealth creation. And you have seen a model farmer. The person makes up and says, I got 1 million, this is what I injected in, and I'm doing well. So if we follow up and encourage them, I imagine the sky will be bright.
Thank you so much.
Very much.
Okay. Yes, I'm Okiswa Joffre, the resident district commissioner for Alebtong. First of all, I'm extremely very happy that the government chief whip, that is the area member of parliament, has organized barazas for Alebtong district, particularly in Ajuri county, which has already covered the Abako, Greater Bako, Greater Omoro, today we are concluding with the Greater Amugu. We have noted a lot of success stories, particularly in as far as the PDM and the Emyooga is concerned for socio-economic transformation. As we are all aware, these are presidential initiatives to ensure that poverty is fought and that everybody must become rich. It started with the Emyooga in 2018-2019, and we are now on PDM, the parish development model. I am happy that we are moving on steadily. There is still a very big challenge that we have noted though, particularly with the Emyooga, that the people who took the Emyooga money, which is supposed to be a revolving fund, and that this revolving fund should be at around 8%. Unfortunately, some people are not making the payments. Okay, yes. Yeah, so unfortunately, in these barazas that were organized by the government chief whip, we have realized that particularly with the Emyooga, many people are not paying back the money. And yet this fund is supposed to be revolving. It's supposed to be a revolving fund that a beneficiary takes, stays with this money for 1 year, and then in the second year they start paying it back. Most of them who took the money in 2020, 2021 have not yet paid back the money, and this one portends a very big challenge for other people to benefit. So we are using this opportunity to talk to them, to raise awareness, to engage them, to ensure that they know. Now once they fail, we are now going into another level of enforcement. So the police have already been duly informed that we need to recover this money, because after all, these people entered into agreements. They made agreements, and this contract is binding. So I take an opportunity now to inform our people, whoever had his own challenge, however difficult the challenge has been, let them document it, let them come, because we are now going to have a meeting, a general meeting. Let them come and let us know where is the challenge, because this money must be recovered. And once we recover this money, it goes back to the same pool of the circles, because with the Emyooga we have 18 circles. These are borders, these are women entrepreneurs, people with disability, elected leaders. And I want to be very particular with elected leaders. It is meant for all the elected leaders, including those of the chairpersons, LOC 1, 2, councillors, and they should be leading as an example, because others would now come and learn from them. So we want to make this very clear that our people who took the money must bring the money back into the pool, and it revolves, and eventually it benefits all. And this also applies to PDM. PDM, I know the time for recovery has not yet reached, because people who took the money must stay with the money for at least 2 years. Then the third year, we shall start recovering the money with an interest of 6%. And this interest of 6% is really so minimal. It is meant to help the SACCO leadership and the other leadership in their operational expenses. So this money must be put in proper enterprise use. If you pick the money, say for example, for rearing poultry, you must not divert this money for another purpose, for paying school fees, for medication. You must put this money to the purpose to which you raise the money. But I'm very happy that with the PDM, there are very many success stories in the places we have been to in Ajuri County. We are now going to take a step further with my team, including the technical people, that the testimonies people have been putting in here. We are now going deep down to each and every sub-county. Then from there we shall go to each and every parish, every village, and every beneficiary. And then we confirm the testimonies they have been giving. And once they are very successful, then we shall encourage other people to come and do benchmarking in those particular success stories of the beneficiaries. But I want to encourage all our people in Alebtong and beyond that, to be honest, poverty is extremely bad. We must fight poverty. We must have our own money in our own pockets. And this gratitude goes to His Excellency the President for the wonderful initiatives. Because since I was born, this is the first time I see this kind of wonderful initiatives where money comes directly from Kampala to the parish and then to the beneficiary. So we want to break any other kind of hurdles in between there, which is in terms of either bureaucracy or corruption tendencies. Let people get this money direct and use the money for the purpose for which the money was meant, and we fight poverty.
Tell about the arrest you did in Abako and how you did it.
Oh yes, it was actually not Abako, it was in Away. In Away, we had a problem with the SACCO executives who connived to siphon money from the beneficiaries. We arrested them. Now, instead of sending the 1 million to the beneficiary, they were sending the 1 million to their own account numbers. So this kind of fraud, good enough, was identified in time. This also happened in Alebtong Town Council. We arrested them, they apologized, they said they will never do it again, and they refunded the money. And we gave them a very strong warning that they should never do it again, and this will act as now a force to others to ensure that this money is meant for the beneficiary, for the poor of the poor, not to enrich the individuals that are already having their own opportunity.
How many were arrested? How many were arrested?
There were two. There were two that were arrested, and well, they cooperated with the police, and they did not need to go to prison because they refunded the money and they made commitments that they will never do it again.
You tell of how much?
1 million each. Well, they had siphoned 1 million, which is meant for a beneficiary. But instead, this 1 million, they were putting it into their own accounts.
Well, some Emyooga groups have not refunded the money up to date, and yet they were supposed to be refunding this money after 6 months. What's next for them?
Yes. First of all, we have all agreed now as a district task force of Emyooga that we must look out for them. We have given them amnesty within which in the next 2 weeks they should come out. When they come with apologies and they say where the problem was, then they commit themselves to refunding the money, we shall pardon them. But if not, they must remember that this was already a contractual agreement of which they committed to repay the money after 1 year, in the second year actually, with an interest of 8%. So once that is very clear to them, we shall then pardon them and make sure that they pay the money within the stipulated period of time. Because they may have been unable to pay due to other factors. But those factors, we want to know them. What are they? Is it disaster? Like one of them came in and said the investment was looted by certain robbers. We want to get evidence over that. Then for us, we shall make a report to the Emyooga headquarters. Fortunately, the national coordinator, Rita Namwenge, is here with us. We shall document those facts. If they are facts, then we are all human beings, we may understand, and then make them redesign another way of repayment. But if not, then we are going to force them. Police is there, and then they will eventually be required to pay this money. Failure, they will go to prison.
Thank you, sir.